Have you ever wondered why, after what seems like a regular meal, your legs suddenly feel heavy, your steps less steady, or even your knees seem to protest? You might think, maybe it's just aging, it's normal. But hold on, that's not entirely true. The truth is, some of the foods we eat every single day, foods that seem harmless, may be quietly weakening our muscles, stiffening our joints, and gradually limiting our mobility as we age past 60. Your body isn't just reacting to TIM, it's reacting to what you feed it. And here's the critical point. Weak legs aren't just a physical issue. They affect your mindset. When you can't move as confidently, walk as far, or even enjoy a simple walk with your grandchildren without fatigue, your trust in your own body starts to fade. That creeping fear of dependence begins to grow, and with it comes insecurity, frustration, and the feeling that time is slipping away. But here's the good news, you can change that. Just by making a few smarter food choices each day, you can actively protect your leg strength, reduce inflammation, prevent stiffness, and regain that sense of freedom in every step. You don't need a strict diet. You don't need an exhausting workout routine. What you do need is the awareness of what foods might be silently working against your body and what to replace them with. In today's video, we won't just list foods to avoid. We'll go deeper, exploring why certain ingredients make you feel weak, stiff, or fatigued. And most importantly, how to turn it around. You'll learn how meals affect your muscles, blood flow, and even your ability to do basic things like stand up from a chair or climb stairs with ease. And if you think this sounds too complicated or doesn't apply to your age, just stick with us until the end. We'll share simple, effective solutions anyone over 60 can apply, starting with your very next meal. So if you're interested in staying active, strong, and independent well into your later years, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Healthy Living Daily, and turn on the notification bell. Now, let's explore which daily eating habits may be silently stealing your legs strength and how you can take that power back, starting today. Now let me ask you something. Have you ever felt unusually drained or weak after eating something sweet like a muffin, a breakfast bar, or even a so-called healthy granola? If so, you're not imagining things. There's something going on beneath the surface, and it has everything to do with how your body and your muscles respond to processed sugar. Here's the truth. One of the most silent yet damaging threats to your leg strength as you age hides in plain sight in your daily diet. It's not just the cakes and sodas we all expect, but the added sugars laced into breakfast cereals, sauces, snacks, and even low-fat products that pretend to be healthy. We often think of sugar as a source of quick energy, and while that's technically true, it comes at a hidden cost. What goes up must come crashing down. When you eat processed sugar, you get a temporary energy spike, but soon after, that spike is followed by a sudden drop, leaving your body and especially your legs feeling like they've lost all momentum. This roller coaster effect isn't just tiring. Over time, it actually trains your muscles to work less efficiently. And for those of us past 60, that's a dangerous path to walk. On a deeper level, chronic sugar intake interferes with insulin sensitivity. That means your muscles stop absorbing glucose the way they're supposed to. Without adequate fuel, your muscles weaken. Recovery after physical activity becomes sluggish. You might notice that stairs feel steeper, chairs harder to rise from, and simple walks more exhausting. But that's not all. Excess sugar also triggers low-grade inflammation throughout the body. You may not feel it right away, but it slowly chips away at your muscle tissues, impairs joint flexibility, and reduces blood flow, especially to the legs. And poor circulation doesn't just cause cold feet or cramps. It reduces oxygen and nutrient delivery to your muscles, further accelerating fatigue and weakness. And what about your emotional health? When your body crashes after a sugar rush, it often brings your mood down with it. Fatigue becomes frustration. Movement becomes hesitation. And slowly, without realizing it, you begin to avoid the very activities that once made you feel free and alive. Sugar doesn't just weaken your body, it chips away at your independence. So what can you do? You don't have to swear off sweetness forever, but you can take back control. Start by reading labels. Processed sugar has many disguises: high fructose, corn syrup, maltodextrin, cane juice, and more. Opt for natural sweeteners like raw honey, dates, or coconut sugar, but even then, use them sparingly. And instead of reaching for a cookie or a sugary drink, try a handful of almonds, Greek yogurt, or even a square of dark chocolate. These offer not just satisfaction, but lasting energy and muscle-supporting nutrients. Simple shifts like these can reignite the strength in your legs, reduce stiffness, and improve blood flow, all while lifting your mood and restoring your sense of control. Have you ever tried cutting back on processed sugar? What did you notice in your energy levels or joint comfort? Share your experience in the comments. We learn so much from each other. Up next, we'll explore another surprising food that's quietly draining your vitality, one you might be consuming every single day without realizing the impact. Stay with us. Now, if processed sugar was the silent energy thief, here comes its equally deceptive partner. Fried foods and fast food, crunchy, tempting, and all too convenient. But here's a question that might hit close to home. Have you ever felt bloated, sluggish, or strangely stiff in your joints after grabbing a quick fried snack or fast food meal? If yes, it's not just in your head. Your body is trying to tell you something. Fried foods offer that satisfying crunch and instant gratification, especially when life feels too busy to cook. But behind the flavor is a physiological cost your muscles and joints quietly absorb over time. Most fried items and fast food meals are cooked in heavily processed vegetable oils and often contain trans fats, ingredients directly linked to chronic inflammation, impaired circulation, and cellular breakdown. When these fats enter your system repeatedly, they don't just affect your weight, they disrupt your body's ability to nourish and maintain muscle tissue and joint flexibility. Inflammation doesn't always feel like fire. It can be subtle, a little stiffness here, some lingering soreness there, but left unchecked it erodes the supportive structures of your legs, reduces the range of motion in your knees and hips, and makes everyday movements like standing from a chair or walking up steps less fluid and more taxing. And the psychological toll follows closely. When your body feels heavy, your spirit does too. That sense of vitality, of being agile and capable, slowly gets replaced by hesitation and discomfort. But it doesn't stop at inflammation. The reheated oils used in most fried foods generate free radicals and stable molecules that accelerate cell aging and damage muscle fibers from the inside out. That means slower recovery after activity, more frequent cramps, and a general feeling that your legs just don't have it today. Add in the excessive sodium, and you get water retention that stiffens your joints and makes your body feel swollen and slow. Fortunately, change doesn't require cutting out everything you enjoy. It just takes some smarter swaps. Start by choosing baking, roasting, or air frying over deep frying. These methods still deliver that satisfying crunch without soaking your food in inflammatory oils. If you're preparing meals at home, reach for olive oil or avocado oil. These fats are rich in anti-inflammatory compounds and actually support your joints instead of harming them. Craving something crispy? Try roasted chickpeas, veggie chips, made from real root vegetables, or unsalted mixed nuts. These offer crunch and nourishment at the same time, giving you both satisfaction and support for your legs. And if you're eating out, don't be afraid to ask how things are cooked or opt for grilled versions. You'd be surprised how often small choices yield big long-term benefits. Think back to your last fried meal. Did you feel energized, or did your legs feel a bit heavier than usual afterward? Have you tried switching to air-fried or roasted alternatives? Let's talk about it in the comments. Your experience could help someone else who's trying to make the same shift. Next up, we'll dive into a dietary habit that many people consider normal, but is silently working against your leg strength. It's something most households have in their fridge right now: processed meats. Stay with us, won't want to miss this. If fried foods were silently damaging your joints through chronic inflammation, what's sitting quietly in your fridge might be doing something even more insidious, targeting your muscles and mobility in ways you can't immediately feel. So here's something to think about. Have you ever noticed joint stiffness, swelling, or general fatigue after a sandwich made with deli meats or a few quick bites of sausage or hot dogs? Let's talk about processed meats, one of the most underestimated dietary hazards when it comes to long-term muscle and joint health. On the surface, these foods seem helpful, quick, affordable sources of protein that are easy to store and even easier to prepare. But inside, they carry a hidden load of preservatives, sodium, and chemical additives that quietly erode your strength from the inside out. Sure, protein is essential for muscle maintenance, especially as we age. But when that protein comes packaged with excessive sodium, nitrites, and other preservatives, the body pays a price. The high sodium content causes water retention, which can leave you feeling puffy, swollen, and uncomfortable, especially in the knees, ankles, and joints. Even worse, it disrupts circulation, limiting the delivery of oxygen and nutrients to your muscles. The result: fatigue, leg cramps, joint stiffness, and slower recovery after movement. But it doesn't stop at salt. Nitrites and other curing agents used to extend shelf life don't just preserve meat, they generate oxidative stress and trigger inflammatory responses throughout the body. This kind of low-grade, chronic inflammation quietly weakens the structure of your muscle fibers and may even interfere with nerve signaling, diminishing your ability to maintain balance, coordination, and strength. From a neurological standpoint, that's a big deal. Several studies now link chronic exposure to nitrates with impaired nerve health, something that doesn't show up in a blood test, but shows up slowly in the way you move, how often you stumble, how hard it is to get out of a chair. Emotionally, the impact is just as profound. When your legs don't respond the way they used to, when your movements feel less stable, the sense of independence begins to slip. You might start avoiding activities you used to enjoy, not because you want to, but because your body feels like it can't keep up. That's not just a physical consequence, it's a mental one too. So what can you do? You don't need to eliminate all meats, but it's wise to rethink where your protein comes from. Swap out processed meats for grilled chicken, baked fish, or roasted turkey. These options provide clean, anti-inflammatory protein without the added chemicals. If you enjoy plant-based meals, lentils, tofu, beans, and tempeh, are protein-rich and support both muscular and joint health. Then if you must buy packaged meat, look for versions labeled nitrate-free and low sodium. Even then, treat them as occasional options, not daily staples. Pairing your proteins with antioxidant-rich vegetables can also help offset some of the oxidative load. So tell me, have you ever noticed feeling stiff or bloated after processed meats? Have you tried cleaner protein alternatives? And did you notice any changes in how your body felt? Share your story in the comments. Your experience may help others on the same path. Next, we'll explore another hidden dietary culprit, one that's deeply embedded in many seemingly harmless foods: excessive sodium, and how it could be robbing strength from your legs day by day. Stay tuned. Let's continue with a question many people overlook. Have you ever noticed your ankles swelling, or felt an unusual tightness in your legs after eating something salty, maybe a canned soup, frozen meal, or instant noodles? If so, that discomfort might be your body's quiet warning about something you don't think twice about. Sodium, in moderation, is essential. It helps balance fluids, supports nerve function, and enables muscles to contract. But as with many things in nutrition, too much of a good thing becomes a hidden threat. And for aging muscles and joints, excess sodium is a silent force that slowly saps strength, agility, and resilience. The real problem lies in where sodium hides. Most people aren't sprinkling extra salt on every meal, but they are unknowingly consuming massive amounts through ultra-processed and shelf-stable foods, canned vegetables, instant soups, frozen dinners. Salty snacks, even foods labeled as healthy or low-fat, often come loaded with hidden sodium to preserve flavor and shelf life. And while these options may be convenient, they contribute to subtle but dangerous shifts in how your body functions. High sodium intake leads to water retention, which shows up as puffiness in the lower legs, ankles, and feet. That swelling isn't just cosmetic, it's a sign of impaired circulation. When blood doesn't flow efficiently, your muscles suffer. They receive less oxygen and fewer nutrients, which weakens their ability to contract, recover, and support your daily movements. You may feel sluggish, more prone to cramps, or like you're moving through sand. Over time, this imbalance doesn't just affect comfort, it threatens stability. Poor circulation can lead to stiffness, joint discomfort, and delayed healing after physical activity. But the damage doesn't stop at the muscles. Excess sodium interferes with calcium absorption, undermining bone health and increasing the risk of fractures and joint instability. It also contributes to high blood pressure, a well-documented enemy of muscle endurance and cardiovascular strength. And here's something that often goes unspoken. When your body feels heavy or bloated, your mind starts to slow down too. Motivation dips. The simple joy of walking, stretching, or staying active fades, not because you've lost interest, but because your body no longer feels like a willing partner. And that emotional disconnection is one of the biggest barriers to long-term wellness. After 60. So what can we do? The answer isn't extreme restriction, it's smart awareness. Start by reading food labels carefully. Sodium hides under many names: monosodium glutamate, sodium phosphate, baking soda, and more. Cooking at home gives you control. Try using herbs, citrus, garlic, turmeric, or a pinch of Himalayan pink salt to build flavor naturally. Boosting potassium intake can also help restore balance. Avocados, leafy greens like spinach or kale, sweet potatoes, and unsalted nuts support electrolyte equilibrium and improve muscle function. And the best part, these foods don't just protect your body, they renew your energy and bring clarity to your mind. So now I'd love to hear from you. Have you experienced muscle cramps, swelling, or stiffness after salty meals? What low-sodium swaps or habits that have helped you feel stronger? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Your story might inspire someone else on their wellness journey. Coming up next, we'll explore a seemingly harmless morning habit that may be quietly stealing energy from your legs throughout the day. Stay tuned. Let me ask you something simple but revealing. Have you ever felt a sudden crash in energy, or that heavy, dragging sensation in your legs right after a meal that was supposed to fuel your day? If that meal included white bread, white rice, or regular pasta, your body may be reacting exactly as it should. Carbohydrates are not the enemy. In fact, they are your muscles' preferred source of fuel. But not all carbs are created equal. What matters most is where those carbohydrates come from and how they affect your body's internal rhythm. Refined carbs like those in white bread, sugary cereals, and instant noodles may taste comforting and feel energizing at first, but that energy comes in fast and leaves even faster. When you eat refined carbohydrates, your body digests them quickly, spiking your blood sugar like a rocket. This sugar surge might briefly make you feel alert or energized, but it's followed by a steep drop that leaves your muscles starving for stable fuel. That post-meal slump isn't just fatigue, it's a sign that your muscles, including the ones in your legs, are running on empty over time. This constant sugar roller coaster puts real stress on your system. It increases your risk of insulin resistance and chronic inflammation, to major factors that weaken leg strength and reduce joint flexibility. Poor circulation follows, cutting off the steady flow of oxygen and nutrients to your lower limbs. You may not realize it at first, but what feels like just aging may, in fact, be a metabolic consequence of daily food choices. And there's another layer. When the body gets energy in unstable bursts, it's more likely to store excess glucose as fat, not muscle. This shift undermines lean mass, slows recovery, and can contribute to metabolic disorders like type 2 diabetes. And anyone who's dealt with nerve pain, leg numbness, or cramps knows how deeply these disorders affect the legs, feet, and mobility. So what's the better path? You don't need to give up carbohydrates, just upgrade them. Whole grains like brown rice, quinoa, oats, and sprouted grain bread contain fiber, minerals, and slow-digesting energy that your muscles love. They help regulate blood sugar, reduce inflammation, and improve endurance. Pairing them with healthy proteins like eggs, tofu, or fish and fiber-rich vegetables further slows digestion, giving your legs the consistent fuel they need to stay strong and stable. It's not about being perfect, it's about being aware. Start by swapping one refined carb for a whole grain each day. Over time, these small shifts add up to powerful results: better circulation, improved stamina, and less of that dragging, heavy leg feeling. So, have you ever experienced an energy crash or heavy legs after a high-carb meal? What whole grain swaps have worked for you? Let us know in the comments. Sure, insight could make a difference for someone else struggling with the same issue. Next, we'll uncover one more hidden threat in your daily diet, one that many people think is healthy, but may be quietly stealing your mobility. Don't miss it. After understanding how refined carbs quietly drain your leg strength, let's now shine a light on something many of us use every single day in our kitchens, often without questioning its long-term impact: vegetable oils. So here's the question: what kind of oil do you usually cook with? And more importantly, do you know how it might be affecting your muscles and joints? Vegetable oils like soybean oil, corn oil, sunflower oil, and canola oil are everywhere, used in home cooking, salad dressings, processed snacks, and deep-fried foods. They've often been marketed as heart-healthy alternatives to animal fats because of their unsaturated fat content. But not all unsaturated fats are created equal. The concern doesn't lie in the fact these oils are plant-based, how much we consume, how they're processed, and how they disrupt our body's natural inflammatory balance. You see, these oils are especially high in omega-6 fatty acids. While omega-6 is essential in small amounts, an excess, especially without enough anti-inflammatory omega-3s, can tip the body into a state of chronic low-grade inflammation. And inflammation, as we've discussed in earlier sections, is the silent saboteur of mobility. It slows muscle recovery, stiffens joints, contributes to pain, and gradually reduces your physical confidence. The muscles in your legs, the ones responsible for standing, walking, and balance, are especially sensitive to this ongoing inflammatory stress. But there's more. Most commercial vegetable oils are extracted using high heat and chemical solvents. This harsh processing can create oxidized compounds and harmful free radicals, unstable molecules that damage cells, accelerate aging, and degrade muscle fibers. Over time, consuming these oils through fried foods or ultra-processed snacks can wear down your joints and connective tissue without you even noticing. And here's where the mental aspect comes in. When your body feels inflamed and sluggish, your motivation drops. You move less, you stretch less. That inner voice that says, "I'll go for a walk," becomes quieter, replaced by a subtle but growing sense of discomfort and fatigue. So what can you do to support your legs and overall vitality? Start small. Swap out heavily processed vegetable oils for healthier alternatives like extra virgin olive oil, avocado oil, or cold-pressed coconut oil. Olive oil is excellent for low to medium heat cooking and for dressings. Avocado oil has a high smoke point, making it a great option for stir-frying or baking. And for those who enjoy tropical flavors, coconut oil can be used in moderation for sautéing or baking. Also, bring in more omega-3s to balance the inflammatory effects of omega-6. Foods like fatty fish, salmon, sardines, walnuts, chia seeds, and ground flax seeds can help restore harmony to your cells and soothe inflammation from within. Now it's your turn. What oils do you use in your daily cooking? Have you noticed any changes in how your legs or joints feel when you avoid fried or processed foods? Let us know in the comments. Your insight might be exactly what someone else needs to make a life-changing shift. Coming up next, we'll take a closer look at one more common dietary habit that may seem innocent, but might be gradually weakening your lower body without your knowledge. Don't miss it. Now that we've explored how common cooking oils may quietly damage muscle and joint health, let's turn our attention to something even more widespread and, for many, more difficult to give up: sugary drinks and artificially sweetened beverages. Here's a question worth considering. When was the last time you reached for a soda, regular or diet, thinking it was just a harmless treat? Most people don't realize that these drinks, whether full of sugar or artificially sweetened, may be doing long-term damage not just to your metabolism, but to your legs, bones, and overall strength. Let's start with sugary sodas. The high levels of added sugar in these beverages create sharp spikes in blood glucose, followed by rapid crashes. These fluctuations disrupt the steady energy supply your muscles rely on, leaving you feeling heavy, tired, and mentally foggy. Over time, repeated sugar surges can lead to insulin resistance and systemic inflammation, to conditions that undermine muscle repair, increase fatigue, and accelerate the loss of muscle tone, especially in the lower body. And what about diet sodas and zero-sugar alternatives? While they may sound like a smarter choice, many contain artificial sweeteners such as aspartame, sucralose, or acesulfame K compounds that can interfere with gut health and alter the way your body regulates hunger and blood sugar. Some studies have found that artificial sweeteners may actually increase cravings for unhealthy carbs, indirectly promoting weight gain, reduced muscle tone, and imbalanced metabolism. And when gut health is compromised, nutrient absorption suffers, which directly impacts energy, endurance, and physical performance. But perhaps the most overlooked threat comes from the carbonation and chemical makeup of these drinks, particularly the phosphoric acid found in many colas. This compound has been linked to calcium depletion in bones. That's right. The more soda you drink, the more likely you are to leach calcium from your bones, increasing the risk of osteoporosis, fractures, and loss of balance as you age. And here's the emotional toll. When your legs feel weak, when your bones ache, and when your energy crashes unexpectedly, your confidence begins to erode. Daily activities become chores, and over time, the simple joy of movement fades, not because of age alone, but because of years of subtle, avoidable nutritional sabotage. So what can you do? The easiest and most effective step is to make water your default beverage. If you're looking for more flavor, try herbal teas, diluted fruit-infused water, sparkling water with a slice of citrus, or natural coconut water. For a gentle lift in energy, green tea offers antioxidant support and mild caffeine without the blood sugar spikes. These choices support hydration, gut health, muscle recovery, and even mental clarity. Let's hear your thoughts. Have you noticed changes in your energy or leg strength after cutting back on soda? What healthy alternatives have worked for you? Share your story in the comments. You might just inspire someone to make a life-changing shift. Next, we'll wrap up with a summary of the key takeaways and what you can do starting today to protect your mobility, vitality, and independence for years to come. Don't miss it. Your legs do more than carry your body, they carry your life forward. And while aging is a part of nature, losing mobility, strength, or confidence doesn't have to be. If there's one message to take away from this video, it's that small, intentional choices each day can shape a future where your legs and your life remain strong, steady, and full of freedom. We've uncovered how certain everyday foods and drinks like refined sugar, deep-fried items, processed meats, snacks, refined carbs, industrial vegetable oils, and sugary beverages can slowly chip away at your mobility. But we've also seen how simple shifts in your diet, like choosing whole grains, anti-inflammatory oils, natural hydration, and nutrient-rich proteins, can protect your bones, soothe your joints, and reignite the energy in your legs. It's not about perfection. It's about progress. So now, I want to ask you, what will you change first? Is there a food you're ready to cut back on, or perhaps a new healthy habit you're excited to try? Drop a comment below and share your thoughts. You never know, your story might be the spark that helps someone else take their first step. 2. If you found even one idea in this video helpful, I invite you to give it a like. And if you haven't subscribed yet, consider doing so and tap the bell icon if you'd like to stay updated with new content designed to help you stay strong, independent, and well-informed. This channel exists to empower you, to remind you that your choices matter, that your health is still in your hands, and that it's never too late to feel good in your own body again. So, thank you for being here. Take care of your legs, take care of your life, and remember, the path to strength is built one step at a time. Let's keep walking it together.